The Apple Watch Series 8 came out on September 16, 2022, exactly 200 days from the date that I'm recording this video. And while I started off using the Apple Watch Ultra, I decided to switch to the Apple Watch Series 8 for a bunch of reasons that I'm going to explain in this video. And I also want to talk about the health benefits that I'm getting from this watch and how it's been a lifesaver after another recent health scare. I went with the GPS version over the cellular, and the reason why is because I never leave the house without my iPhone, and the GPS version can still do basic things like calls, text, check the weather. As long as you have your iPhone near you, you can do those things. I decided to get the midnight version with the sport band coming in at $399, and I switched to this more classy band over the sport band just because I like the way it looks. I got it off Amazon and I have the links to it down below in the description if you want to check it out. I also got the 45mm watch size because I think it's the perfect size for my wrist. It's not too big, it's not too small. The display size is a large reason as to why I switched from the Ultra. The Ultra eventually became to feel a little bit too big, especially when I was sleep tracking, and it just became a nightmare. Get it? Nightmare? Okay, I'm being a little bit dramatic, but after trying on the 45mm watch size on the S8, I felt like the Ultra was just a bit too big, and hence I switched. Now, speaking of the display, I really love this display. It's 396 by 484 pixels, and text and everything on it just looks very crisp and vibrant. For me though, the most important thing is that it looks good outdoors in direct sunlight, and I can report that, yeah, this watch looks good in direct sunlight. And that's all thanks to the 1000 nits brightness. So it gets plenty bright when you're outdoors. You never have to really worry about not being able to see the content when you're interacting with the iPhone. So if you work outdoors, this might be the watch you want to get over the other options, not including the Apple Watch Ultra, because again, the display is just vibrant and it's really nice to use. Now, I can't talk about the display without talking about the always on display, and that's a reason why I got this one over the Apple Watch SE2. It means that at a glance, I can easily see what's going on the screen, and I can be updated at all times if I need to be. A lot of people turn it off to save battery life, but for me, that would kind of be like buying a new sports car and driving it only in eco mode, although I understand that gas is really high. The always on display makes a difference over the other options, and I generally think it's worth the extra money. I am looking to get a case to protect the display because I don't think it's that durable, and my other watches have easily gotten scratched. So if you know any suggestions, let me know in the comments down below for any screen protector or case options. Let's talk about battery life. A reason why I got the Apple Watch Ultra, and the main reason is because it had incredible battery life. This is not something that you would find on many other Apple Watches, and I struggled with battery life on my SE because that thing barely made it throughout the day. I was just so excited about the battery life on that Ultra that I overlooked the fact that the Apple Watch Series 8 has a pretty decent battery life. Okay, more than decent. I'm actually very relieved to say that this thing lasts for more than 1 day, even going into a day and a half or more in a lot of cases. I'm basically able to take it off the charger at around 7 a.m. and I won't have to charge it up until around 5 to 6 p.m. the next day. I sometimes sleep with it for sleep tracking, and I only lose a little bit of battery life, so that is amazing because the SE always used to die on me when I was sleep tracking. But of course, you do have to make some configurations. A couple of tips is to disable Siri, manage your notifications a little bit better based on need, and turn off background app refresh for the apps that you don't want it on. Oh, and I forgot to mention that it also has fast charging, meaning that you can charge it while getting ready for work, and then in about 30 minutes, it'll be almost fully charged if it was around 20 to 30%. Now let's talk about performance. The Series 8 features the S8 chip, which for me, even coming from the original SE, just feels a lot smoother and more of a breeze to use. I seriously remember having the Series 3 and that thing was really slow, like it was annoying to use, so much so that I didn't want to use the watch. But on the S8, apps open really quickly with no noticeable delay. Navigating the UI is also smooth, and it just makes it a more enjoyable experience. But with that said, if you're coming from the previous generation, like the Apple Watch Series 7, you're probably not going to notice a major difference in terms of performance. They generally feel the same. That's where software support comes in. Apple is great for supporting their products compared to other brands, and they support them for years, like 5 to 6 years down the road, you're gonna get support for any given Apple product. If buying something for longevity is important to you, then you're gonna want to buy the latest one. If it's not important, you might wanna save some money and go with the Apple Watch S7 or SE2. If you watch my Apple Watch Ultra review, you're gonna recall that I had a health scare last year, which led me to taking my health a lot more seriously. At the time I lost consciousness, and now I've come to realize that that was most likely a seizure. And I realized that because I had another one and it was confirmed to be a seizure, and it was more recently. Now, it was a scary ordeal and it's still fresh. Luckily, my fiance was there to take care of me and call 911 and get the ambulance over there. But if this were to happen again and I'm alone like I was the first time, I'm gonna need something to call my emergency contacts if necessary. No one was home that first time, and I was unconscious for about an hour, which is pretty scary if you really think about it. So the Apple Watch Series 8 has fall detection and a long battery life. Really the two things that I need to make sure that I get help when I need it. It's just good to have while I figure out this whole seizure situation over the next few months. Now, not only that, but the Apple Watch has a plethora of health features like workout tracking for tracking exercise, ECG for detecting your heart rhythm, medication reminders right on your wrist. Those are things that are really handy, and the Apple Watch does a whole lot in terms of making it easy for people to manage their health. So to conclude, the Apple Watch Series 8 is the best all-around watch that you can buy right now. It offers an always-on display, useful health features, fast charging, a long battery life, and it's not incredibly expensive as far as watches go. It's not a Rolex, but it's something different, something that can really supplement or even replace your phone in some cases. With that said though, if you don't require an always-on display and you don't really mind charging once a day or more than that, then it may be too expensive, and the SE version might be a little bit of a better option if you're on a budget. For me though, this is the watch that I've enjoyed the most, and I plan to keep it on my wrist for as long as possible, or until a new one comes out. What do you think about the Apple Watch Series 8? Is it worth the money, or would you go for something like the Ultra, or maybe go down to the SE? Let me know in the comments down below, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. Peace.